Praise where praise is due. It's not something I say often with idle gachas, but Bolt Ray Games over there in Singapore, the dev team for Monster Never Cry, I don't know the exact team size, but however many are working behind the scenes, ya done did something I was hoping would happen. Vespa has been added into the regular summon pool, along with all the other ways you can get monsters. This is really good news. Limited time monsters, I'll stand by it, I hate them. Too much unknown factors, comes across as a cash grab, but now that we know eventually, as time passes, all limited time monsters will be forever available. I don't hate it as much. You can now think of them as either a long-term free-to-play investment or a spend now and spend later. I compiled a little bit of information that I'm going to share in regards to limited time monster release patterns. Let's get it. As I'm talking, I'll just be showing what I put together in my Google document, which is always going to be linked in the video description. So Vespa's rerun banner event is currently active, but I will speak about that later on. But let's start off with a little history, you could say, of limited time monsters. Looking over some of the Monster Never Cry Discord announcements, I'm not going to be 100% accurate here as I don't take much screenshots anymore when I'm in the game. But Vespa, the Witch from the Abyss, she was globally introduced close to or on March 31st. Now each limited time banner lasts for 2 weeks, so that brings Vespa's to end close to or on April 13th or 14th. In the Discord, they usually make a farewell letter announcement post when their event is ending. I say close to because of the time zone differences, as my reset time is I think around 2 AM. Then there is 1 week of recovery time, so to around April 20th, 21st, before introducing the next monster, which was Pelé. Now, Pelé was globally introduced on April 23rd. Once again, her banner lasted 2 weeks, and they made some changes to the summoning system where it had summon milestones. I really like this change because it really hurts when you go to 120 pity every single time, getting basically nothing in between. So they introduced eggs for 30, 60, 90, and then there was also some other rewards for 120, 160, and 200. I'm not sure if all these were added right away, I'm just going based off Vespa's current ongoing event. There's going to be options like talent resources, clone doll, or legendary Evo Soul / Magic Guide chests. But the main milestones are 30, 60, 90 due to those eggs. There is a chance to get that said limited time monster, but 99.9% of the time, you're going to get a legendary food monster. To summon that many is kind of pricey, but not really depending on what you're currently using your gems on. This is going to be around like 20,000 gems. Her farewell letter was announced and she left on May 5th, so there definitely is a pattern forming here because after that 1 week of recovery time to May 12th, guess what happened? The limited time monster Rarest was globally introduced on May 16th. Obviously this is not exact, but give or take a few days, the pattern still holds up. The Rarest banner encountered a major issue and definitely divided the community. I can't remember, but either a maintenance happened or a small update, and then everyone logged in and their summon pity was reset. This was crazy. How the Monster Never Cry team handled this would not have been the way I would have done it. Basically, they started fixing each individual player's accounts, trying to fix the issue to what the pity should be before the issue happened, meaning some had their fixes before others. Another problem was the Rarest summon event was still ongoing, meaning if they waited for the fix, they would be missing out on summon opportunities. Customer service told players to hold off on summoning till it's fixed. All in all, this was a nightmare situation. I personally skipped this banner simply because I'd rather use the gems on guaranteed results like mythic magic devices, talent resources, etc., other than knowing my luck just to get 2 copies going straight to that 120 pity, aka having an unusable monster. So because of me skipping this, I can't tell you if everyone affected were helped. Lots of discussion here, lots of threads were made, some players got a Rarest egg, some didn't, some were told it's fixed, but it wasn't. Long story short, this was one of the messiest summon event issues I've ever seen. Fast forwarding 2 weeks later, her farewell letter was announced on May 29th. This brings me to one of their AMA session answers, where they said Vespa would be returning in June. Currently, we know they still have to roll out the new monster Tyranny, I don't know how to pronounce the name, so it's safe to say after the 1 week recovery period, bringing that to June 5th more or less, the first week of June would most likely feature Vespa, which it obviously has. If you're still following me up to this point, thank you. I do find this sort of stuff interesting regarding trying to find out patterns and predict when stuff will be happening to help prepare myself and of course share with you. One of the confirmations given that the Vespa rerun banner would be happening first before that new monster Tyranny is I think on Thursday, May 30th, the MNC Discord blew up from players showing screenshots of Vespa being added everywhere in the game. regular summon pool, and eggs. If you go to the gem gacha, aka regular summons, you can click the exclamation and you can see her egg is there. Regarding the eggs, you can see by clicking on the random egg, her egg is there. Also for abyssal eggs, she's there as well. This means when doing devil core summons and gathering up those abyssal egg shards, because let's be real here, it's very rarely you will get a full monster copy, plus the draconic and abyssal faction are mixed together. But anyways, using those abyssal eggs, you currently right now have a 1 in 5 chance of getting her. This is pretty good. Then a day later, which was Friday, May 31st, she randomly showed up in the Evo Soul shop, which I was the most surprised about. I figured if a limited time monster were to ever be added here, it would be like 100 Primeval Crystals at the very minimum, but pricing her at 70, just 10 more than the Draconic and Abyssal regular monsters, I think this is fair. I'm happy with that. It does suck that there was no announcement regarding any of this because obviously then players would be saving their resources. And then also another hint to basically show that this will be happening to all limited time monsters is Pelé was in the $100 offer with Vespa. However, she was quickly removed. Now for her rerun banner that is currently ongoing, the announcement for this was on June 2nd, so like I said, more or less the pattern is still in effect. From her global introduction of March 31st to her rerun banner of June 2nd, this gives a rough span of 2 months, more or less. This means we should expect Pelé's rerun banner plus be permanently added into the game around the last week of June, but most likely the first week of July, due to the fact June has a lot of updates happening, such as faction towers, potential summer update, just had a furniture system introduced, and the upcoming collaboration event. Let me know down in the comments if you've been lucky enough to summon Vespa outside her current rerun banner. It could be from an egg, devil core summons, or just simply the gem gacha. On one of my accounts I have been summoning because I do have mine at 9 stars, so I got my first copy after of course going to the 120 pity as usual, and will most likely stop after getting my next so I can take her to 10 stars. My luck unfortunately has been really bad. But as always, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.